Hello, everyone. I'm Reggie Young. I'm here with Aaron. Aaron, if you can take a quick second and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got started.
Absolutely, brother, man. Great to have you. Good seeing you again. Yeah, man. Aaron Cordovez, started on Amazon, unsuspecting victim of some crazy success I was not expecting. I don't know, I started on Amazon trying to make another $500 a month. And you see the brand name in the background there, Zulai Kitchen. So we sell a lot of stuff now, top utensil rest, top apple core, top lemon squeezer, top milk frother. We got a lot of number one bestsellers on Amazon. And yeah, dude, I mean, we're buying companies. Okay. So if you go to aaroncordovez.com/valuation, we get valuation for companies. Typically, we don't buy something tiny, like you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in EBITDA. But no, man, buying companies. We got the software summary seller. We got Zulai Kitchen, the big brand. We bought probably 4 companies by now. Um, Maybe more, but kind of lose track, to be honest. I don't know, dude. That's a little bit about me. But I started off. I was programming before, and I started Amazing Selling Machine in 2015. And then now I just spoke at Matt Clark's like 360 because he was teaching me, and then like now I went to Mastermind to teach them Amazon because he no longer has that pulse on the actual Amazon, right? He knows how to sell courses, but like our Amazon store does, I don't know, 20 times what his does. Uh, so
Yeah.
so now I'm talking to his event, although he got me started, so yeah, that's a little small recap.
Sweet. And then for anyone listening, I believe you're a top 100 seller on Amazon, right? Is that
Yep.
correct? So of
Yeah,
all
yeah. If you go to
sellers,
seller
in that category.
readings, yeah, if you go to sellerratings.com, I think right now we're sitting at number 52 or something like that. Uh,
Wow.
Out of, a million active sellers, something like that.
That's pretty intense. So I think, is there like a statistic you can say in terms of like US households? There's probably a high chance that people listening have either come across your product, been in a house with your product, or
Oh,
currently
oh,
using.
oh, guaranteed. If you're not a total hermit and you spend all your time at home, you've absolutely been to somebody's house with our stuff in it. And probably it's even in your house. Like I'll meet people and like at a mastermind or something, tell them what I do. And they're like, hey, I think I may have your stuff. And they call up like, wife at home. Hey, check our lemon squeezer. What does it say there? Oh, Zulai. Oh, wow. What the hell? And I got the lemon squeezer. I got the milk frother. I got the whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we've reached a lot of households, man. I don't know. We sold, let's just rather 12 million products. So, and I think it's well over that. It's just, that's a number we could pull up immediately for here. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of units, man. That's a lot. I mean, we're at some point we'll push into 10% of the US. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully that'll be like what,
Jeez.
33 million, that'll
Yeah,
be cool.
that's exciting. I've never been to someone else's house and seen my product. The closest I've come to is someone has told me, like a friend of a friend of a friend was like, "Hey, is this your product?" And I was like, "Holy crap, that is my product." I didn't have that level of penetration, but the year that I had scaled up my business right before I sold it, I know I was by far the number one person in the world selling that one product, which is how we ended
Yeah.
up getting connected, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
else. Yeah, I was trying to sell my business. We ended up getting connected on like, what's that? Clubhouse. Um,
What's
it
it?
was the
Oh,
ad.
that's right. That's right. I
Yeah.
remember that now. I
Yeah.
forgot it was so long ago. Dude, yeah, that's right. Club. I'm telling you, I'm like, yo, like, some of your stuff. And okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay,
Unfortunately.
and are you open
Yeah.
about it? Like, could you say like what you sold or not? Or I don't know
Yeah. Yeah.
what's
Yeah. No, no. I still can't say what I
okay.
sold.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I ended up selling with 16,000 reviews, and looking back, like I'm so happy I sold to that seller because I ended up exiting at a premium valuation, which I'm really, really thankful for. Um, but
Do you know
our
what
brand.
was your exit? Can you talk about that? I feel like obviously
Yeah,
some
yeah,
things
yeah.
we can't talk about.
Yes, yeah. So my exit was 638,000, was the valuation price. Um,
And what was your EBITDA? Or what was your profit on that? Like,
my monthly profit was $16,000 a month over a 9-month pricing period.
okay,
Because
hold on.
yeah,
I got to do some there's my team. So we're 19,000, right? And then so that's we 228. Okay, so yeah, like a 3x on a yearly
yeah, yeah,
profit.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
And at that size, relatively
yeah,
small. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
yeah, and it was all cash, like no seller financing, none of that. And
Wait.
the product investment for that was $3,000, and then I had like,
Yeah,
like
boy.
a crazy. This is crazy. I'm looking for the next like ROI like that. I don't know if I ever find another ROI where I put 3,000 and I net the cash flow plus the exit,
Well,
but
I
I'm
think
looking.
look, if you're okay, here's what I tell people, and again, I'm not. Yes, I'm talking to you, right? You know where you should do your next thing, right?
Or Amazon. I mean,
That's
that's what
right.
do you think?
It
Yeah,
already worked
exactly.
for you once,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
It already worked. Are you actually doing a brand right now, or are you working on it or
Yes.
no?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to redo a supplement. I got a little bit ballsy. I thought, hey, I could rank in a 50K search volume, hyper competitive supplement category. I got to page one, position four, on a 25K, like inventory launch budget, but I stepped off because I didn't have my reviews. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a sales cycle, but I realized my branding was slightly off. So I rebranded. Now I'm starting to inch back up through there. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, if you want, I know again it's a short time and I'm springing this on you, but if you have screen share, oh no, but yeah, you're not sharing the brand. So I just did it in this last mastermind. One thing that I guess I'm becoming sort of known for is these like listing teardowns. Like you show me your listing, and I'm like, I rip that thing to
Just
pieces and show you all the places to grow because the thing is, right, like, and this, I don't actually like recommend people do like kind of ranking strategies and throw, send whatever search line buys or add to cart, whatever the people a lot of times are suggesting. I don't actually suggest that because you don't know if your listing is actually up to par to actually stay there. And so what happens is if you can't rank something, the way I like to push the ads and pick a keyword, push the ads to that one keyword. Let's say it's whatever, testosterone supplement for men age 50, I don't know, some keyword, right? You push that one, you make your listing all around it, and you push it with ads. Like you do the video ad, you do the top of search ad, you do your competitors' product pages, and you're gonna dominate and try to win keyword. And if you're not going up in rank, having all the ad spots, you could be losing money. It's okay, not a lot of money, but for a while, do it for a week. And if you haven't moved up, your listing is not ready. So rather than spend a bunch of money on giveaways and all that stuff, push you with the ads at a low price. And if you're not ranking just organically with the regular customers buying your stuff, then it won't stick. So why even waste it? So anyway, that's kind of how I subs- tell people to rank, and that's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. That's an excellent strategy. For those like probably first listening, I would imagine most people are like, well, crap, I never exited a business. Definitely not a top 100 seller anywhere near there. A lot of people are, the first question is like, how do I choose a winning product or how do I do
Hmm.
product selection? So I would imagine you've been through a ton of product launches, have acquired many brands at this point. What would somebody first starting out, what advice would you give them for product selection when it comes to Amazon?
So what I like to talk about, and so I just had like a bit of a controversial post because I said like, hey, if you haven't picked the product, if you've been thinking about Amazon, if you've been thinking about starting Amazon for more than like a year, let alone like 2 years, 3 years, and you haven't picked anything, bro, I don't care what you pick. Pick anything. Pick an iPhone case. The worst thing, the one thing that everybody says not to do. Pick an
Oh, I
iPhone
did
case,
that.
bro.
That hurts. I did that.
It, it hurt,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
know
yeah.
what?
Mm,
An iPhone case order
but I
might
got
cost
there.
you like a grand for a
Yeah.
first order. And at least you're off the ground. And then you could see for yourself, why couldn't I sell? Or you like start getting your feet wet, right? iPhone
Yeah.
case I would not recommend iPhone case to anybody. Really, I don't think it's a good product. But hey, if you got into a special case, you hit right when the keywords hit. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, I would prefer you did that than waiting for 3 years.
Right.
So, but what you want to do is find a product where you think you could bring some value, right? You think you could bring something to the table. So every sort of great brand, right, find something of value. And so, this is our first product, this lemon squeezer, right? This is the
Mhm.
2-in-1 lemon squeezer. And I'll give you a brief story of how I started. I did a little list of 20 or 25 items just around me. I was just okay in my house, and I'm like, okay, good. Here's a desk. This is whatever, selfie stick. Oh, that's a light bulb. And I just picked 20 items. Okay, I think it was 20, but I probably added a few more later. Anyway, and some of them were kitchen. Okay, forks, plates. Okay, a lemon squeezer, whatever, and put them on a big list. And then what you want to do is compare all those items with each other to see which one's the best. And how can you do that, right? Why don't you go and see who are the top 3 sellers for that item? Okay. See how many reviews they have and see how good of a seller that person is. Do their images pop? It's amazing to make you want to buy. Or like you see the third top seller, their stuff is garbage. They have 3 images. They maybe don't have a video. Or maybe they only have 400, 500 reviews, maybe 1,000. Because you can beat people with 4,000 reviews, 5,000 reviews. Beating somebody that already has 100,000 is very difficult, right? When you're going into some categories, right? we have our milk product has over 100,000 reviews. My buddy has over 200,000 reviews on our product. Like those are very tough. But if you see number 2 seller, number 3 seller,
Mm.
and they got 1,000, 3,000, okay, that's pretty good. That's amazing because you could get there, right? Like you said, how long did you say you have your business for?
So that Amazon product that I ended up selling was literally a 9-month window. And just like you said, it was, my competition had a lot of reviews compared to most people selling at that time. It had 2,000 reviews, but it was a 4-star product. And I did that, just like you said, looked at the competition, found that value at, and went right for it. And on top of that, which is really crazy, the example you said, just start phone cases. Like that's literally what I first did off of
Yeah.
Amazon. I tried to drop ship iPhone 6, um,
Oh
I
no.
felt like phone cases, and my mom was my only customer. So it was just what you're saying is excellent advice because it worked for me specifically. Like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
yeah, definitely love that.
So good to hear. Yeah, because that's the point. Like, get your feet wet, man.
Mm.
Would you rather have a failed iPhone case launch under your belt? You have an understanding of the interface. You know what the customer is. You have a little bit of like grit. You got a little, got a little bit of hair, you know. Um, or would you rather be 8 months later you sit and pick a product? So yeah, I mean the thing is get started. But yeah, you saw somebody if a top seller has 4 stars, and that's the comparison, right? You take 20 items, you're gonna check the top three, and you're gonna check, well, this seller, he's at 4 stars, 4,000 reviews. What the hell? You got 16,000 reviews in a span of 9 months. That's ridiculous. So you can get to these levels when you sell a lot of units because people leave reviews, right? You will get reviews. You will get there. So if there's somebody with either low star rating, something that looks ugly, low review count, anything that you feel like, dude, I could beat this guy, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
I know, for example, dude, I go to some, if I go to play football, I'll never challenge Tom Brady in my life, right? Like, like I'll smoke my ass, no matter how old he is, right? Like, it doesn't matter, right? So you pick a fight that you could win. I like to tell people, it's like, let's say you're going to go into a fight, you know, go to a fight you're going to win. Okay. So if I want to pick a fight, you go to like a kindergarten class. You could win a fight in kindergarten, bro. You go to kindergarten, you'll win. Not like you want to pick a fight with a kid, but the point is you'll never lose a fight, right? So you want to find a place. You want to pick a kindergarten battle because you yourself you're a kindergartner. Right? You're like a baby Amazon seller. So you want to go pick on someone who's also a baby, who has an ugly listing, who has something that looks bad, has something that has bad reviews. And then you go and you pick a fight there, and you're gonna go after a keyword, or your launch strategy is a little bit separate. But let's just say go after a product that has some flaw, that your product will be superior. And if you do a good job marketing it, you think you can beat them. And that's generally what I say is like, go with your comfort level, right? And say, I could beat this listing. If you see a listing that's selling well and you're like, dude, this is garbage, I could totally beat it. That's a market you could enter for sure, right? You see a hole and you get into it. And that's the best thing. And so if you have 20, 25 items, you look to all of them, you compare all those competitors, top three, spend a day, spend 2 days. Don't spend a month doing this, right? Just 20 items, 25 items, 30 items, top three competitors, rate them A to F or whatever you want to do. Rate. And then you go, dude, this one product, seller 2 and 3, both of them have 4 stars. Both of them only have 2,000 and 4,000 reviews. And the product is ugly. I can make a better one. Their main image is ugly. It's not bright. I can beat these guys. Now you sort of imagine I'll be in that spot, and then you do all the things necessary to be more beautiful than them. Your product will be better. Your reviews will be better because your product is better. Your listings will be better. You'll have videos. You have social media. You have whatever. You put all those things, and you can beat them. Then you go after that market, and no one can tell you that, right? That's what even the most competitive stuff. If you know that third seller has something that you think you could beat and you can do better than, you go after it. And that's how On shoes, they've been killing it, and they've been taking humongous market share from Adidas and Nikes and all these people because the shoes are so popular because they said, yo, my shoe's going to look better. It's going to feel better than the top shoes. Well, them knowing that market, they felt like they could do it and they went after it. So it doesn't matter how competitive it is. You find a person that you think you could beat or have a better product than, and you go after it. And so it's not like super complicated.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting too because I think a lot of us tend to overcomplicate things. We understand the high level, but the moment we start executing, we get lost in the minutia. But I really think, like you said, focusing on the product. As long as your product is superior, everything starts to kind of get easier and easier. So now with having as many products as you have, I'm holding one right here.
Oh,
in the
good.
camera here is
Oh, yeah, baby.
your milk frother. I literally just got it because I every morning I'm trying to do like these green juices, and I'm like, oh, I've seen some of your posts with the Zule thing, so I'm like, hey, might as well like support the brand.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
Having so many brands now, how do you like what problems did you run into like after brand one and two that like real scaling issue where you're not really a small seller anymore, you're in the top, 100, even better than that. What are some huge scaling issues that you've had to overcome, whether it's management, people, acquisition, to kind of get where you're at for people who may already have a few brands under their belt or are managing at an aggregator level?
Yeah, so the biggest issue is mostly gonna come down to your team, to who's gonna have to support you. Like, typically, you don't need really I mean, I had it was me and my wife, right? Um, I didn't add my first person until we were probably at, like, $70,000 a month. Nobody. And at that point, we hired somebody to do shit on labels, right? And right now, we're at, I don't know, this year, oh, snap. Hold on. Oh, geez. Okay. Sorry about that. I just clicked on the calendar thing. Okay, so right now we're at like uh about one employee for every $1 million of revenue. Okay, so
Wow.
every $1 million is like an employee, Uh, and that's super key. Like I think I did the numbers on Amazon. Amazon itself, Amazon, they do I don't know how many billions or whatever, and they have approximately one staff for every $400,000 in revenue.
Mm, yeah,
Okay,
super capital efficient. It's very
so
capital efficient. Yeah.
yeah, we're twice as efficient as Amazon. But of course, I'd rather have 80,000 employees and have $100,000 per revenue. Like, whatever, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it gives you just an idea, like ratios and things to pay attention to. But I've seen people that have, $15,000 in sales per month, right? It's like 200 grand. And they're like, I need to hire like three people. And you're like, what are you
Yeah.
talking? Dude? Like, no, dude, you are going to do the work because you need to figure out what you even will have your people do. So one of our first hires, I put on like full time ad management, and this was we're at about $120,000 a month in sales, right? We hired like one person right off Indeed, and it's like, okay, I said, okay, do this, and this, and this, and this, and so they kind of did what we asked her to do. Uh, Um, and I checked like after 1 week, and the sales were up, and I'm like, that's cool. At the time, I didn't have software. I didn't do Samurai Seller. Samurai Seller actually started as a result of this. So ads were going good, and I just stopped paying attention. I went back to what I was doing over here, keywords, new products, whatever. And I turned back like a month and a half later, and I'm like, oh God, our spend is up like 50%, or sales are only up a little bit. And I calculated a profit. I wasn't doing daily profit. I didn't even know what a P&L was. I was so like in another planet. And so I go, we're making like $200 a day. I'm like, that's less money than I was making at my day job, like for myself. Like, this is a disaster. And anyway, we let her go. And what happened is I didn't yet know exactly what needed to be done myself. Like, I wasn't that nailed down, and that what is it that needs to happen? What is that profit per day number you got to keep track of? I didn't really know. I just said like sell more stuff, whatever, and I didn't know it. So after I created the software, I'm like, okay, good. Here's a profit per day. Look at it every single day. All right. Here's the ads. Here's all the things I need to do with the ads, rather than hire a person who doesn't know anything about Amazon. And I'm trusting all of my ads in their hands.
Right. Right.
That's a bad idea.
Mm,
Bad idea. So instead, I programmed the computer. Okay, good. This is when we should do negative matches. This is when we should change bids. And we made that onto the software, put it in there. And it's like, I replaced out my employee with a partnership with my buddy to make the software do it. Because if you don't understand yourself what to do, if you can't get your own brand to 20, 30, $50,000 per month, no one's going to do it for you. That is not a skill. A skill from getting a brand from 0 to 50 grand or 100 grand in a month. It's not a skill. You're just going to hire some agency. Agencies are good at doing like a decent job at Amazon if you have a spectacular product. If your super skill set is like making products and you're like a super product guy and you know how to sell in retail, whatever, yeah, hire an agency to do your stuff. But an agency realized if they could make brands from 0, they'd be way more rich making their own brands and not doing the agency. Agency is not a good model. So the point is, an agency is not going to do it for you. Your employees are not going to do it for you. A first hire is not going to solve all your problems. You better dig in and figure out how to do it before you ever hire someone else to do it. That's what I'm saying. Until you know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. It reminds me, I had mentioned on a previous episode, the first time I hired a virtual assistant, I was drop shipping at the time. I said, go and find my competition. And I didn't really say much beyond that. And then I went to work. I came back like a day and a half later, and they had found every single person in the industry and added them on a sheet. It was they went so wide that it was useless. And at first I was like, oh, that this sucks. But I realized it was me not managing, uh, like not defining the scope, not identifying KPIs, not, what gets measured gets managed type of thing. So I think that's excellent advice there. What would you say for someone who is looking to scale out, a team of right now I fluctuate anywhere between 5 to 10 virtual assistants depending on
Mhm.
where I'm
Okay.
trying to move right now. Right now, what would you say for someone that's trying to grow beyond a couple of brands
So
and
what's your
move
so
kind of
what's your
still.
revenue? What's your revenue right now?
So my revenue right now is probably around 100K a month revenue.
Okay.
So my profit is not that much. So I need to go and scale some things up, but I want to be very capital efficient. I don't want to
So
have
yeah,
to, could that,
like I'm
have something
wondering,
drop
so
off.
10 people. So like tell me what these guys are doing. Give me an idea.
Yes. Yeah. So some of them are doing personal branding.
Okay.
Some of them are doing agency work. So I have some clients as well.
Mm.
But most of it, most of it's kind of just really automated software. Um, Yeah, so I'm struggling with some automation, struggling with letting control go of certain things, and I find myself like still kind of hopping back in. Um,
Do you have any
yeah,
people near you? Any like actual like USA people?
no, I don't, and maybe that's like,
Dude, I would say this. Here's the deal. What I would do if I was you. Bro, so let's say if you have 5 people working on your brand and other stuff and agency stuff, and you want to like money, sure. But on your main brand, I don't know that you need 5 people, right? Because some of this work is going to be intense, deep work, like maybe picking a product or like copywriting or like what is it that one change to your title that's going to make a difference? I don't know that you're going to trust a person who's working for $4 an hour to like solve that for you, right? It's probably unlikely, and unless you've given them some intense training that's really spectacular, and they're going to do it. I don't know that they're going to bring that much. So it's possible that you want to switch out 4 or 5 people and get one person who's going to be like, have them share your vision with you. Go to like uh, 10x growth conference, right? Go find some like hungry, like, I don't know, person who wants to grow and be like, this is my vision, or somebody where maybe somebody that you know, not like a family member unless you want to, but somebody who you can trust to be like, let's do some big stuff together. They maybe are doing really good at their day job, right? Sometimes you'll find a person who they're not looking for a job. Sometimes that's the best people to hire, right? Our like second in command person, they were doing fantastic in a day job, like really, really good. And I went out and poached this person. I said, listen, here's we're gonna do this. And they're like, no, man, my job is perfect. I'm doing good. And then I'm like, no. And so I talked to them more. And here's the idea. This is a vision. We're gonna do profit share at some point. We do have a profit share, right? Um, a lot of different things, and be like, come over, and you have to sell people on your vision. How are you gonna get from 100K to 200K every month, right? And then from 200K to 500K, and be like, listen, this is and you want to get a person who you could trust to basically do everything. And then those are your best employees, right? The ratio would probably be like or like maybe 25%, 30% US, and 70% can be overseas, right? But you don't want to have 100% overseas because you need an executive. You need someone who's like your right hand person that you could kind of throw anything at and they're going to
yeah,
solve things.
yeah, no,
That's what I
yeah,
would do. That's what I would. And right now you have maybe too many people. Like if you already have 5 people that report to you directly, that's too much. I mean, like 5 is fine, but you also have the other 5. So you have 10 people you're talking to one on one. You're going to go nuts. Right now, I only keep a maximum of 5 like direct reports. So in the main company, I have like 2, okay, that hire a bunch of stuff. Then I have we're doing like personal branding stuff, and then I have aggregation and buying companies brand, and then I have the software. And the software, unfortunately, is kind of my most baby brand that has the least profit. And unfortunately, there I don't have like one person who's running it. I'm still running, and I have like 4 people under me, and that's probably one of the reasons it's more failing. And not failing. I mean, the software is good. It's just taken
it's
4
not
years, so
scaling, right?
yeah, we're still pretty small, and the product is good, but it takes a lot of time because I don't have one person that's just doing everything. You see,
Right.
it started part time, and anyway, whatever. So point is, you can't have more than 5 people. So what are you going to do? You're not going to hire. another 7, and then you need to
Right.
build out an executive team. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. 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 I love that advice. Is something I should do. So I definitely going to double down and really think about that instead of just always trying to do what I've been doing, which is like trying to over optimize, over systemize. When I think, like you said, it's time to partner, hire an executive, give up equity or revenue share, something like that,
Yeah, do a
and take it from
plan,
there.
some sort of plan, and I've seen great partnerships, and
Mm.
it could even be, look, maybe they don't have equity of your current brand, but hey, maybe on the weekends or something, you learn Amazon with me, and then you could launch something there. I'll help you with that. Or, I don't know. Like you have to
Yeah, I
figure
like that
out
idea.
the
Mm.
person is right,
Mhm.
but I'm sure there's people around you who've seen who are competent, smart people, even if it's not in e-commerce, right? Generally, if someone is smart in one industry, they'll be smart in another industry, right? As long as it's related, not like
Mhm.
the person's a fantastic like actor and they're maybe not going to be good on Amazon because this one is computers and one is not. Like, but if it's sort of an administrative worker, corporate, they're on computers, they manage people, and they're doing well, and they influence their company well, and they are happy with their job. Right. Number one thing is, do they love their job? Are they happy with it? Or doing their manager like they're happy there? Because that means they're going to come with you, and they can have that career path. If someone's like, "Yo, I hate my job. What could I do?" Oh yeah, come with me. Generally, that's normally a bad hire. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea too. Like, because one thing that's always I've been afraid of is bringing someone full tilt, like coming in all the way. But I like the idea of like just maybe starting small with like lower scope, lower responsibility, coming on the weekend and maybe scale out from there. So probably
could
start
be,
like that. Yeah.
try something, like get involved here, do this course. I'll teach you to start a brand together. Blah. Oh man, you did good. I don't know, but at the end of the day, back to the original thing, what you asked me about, which is like, what is the next step, right? You're the CEO. You're the one who sets the plan. What's going to bring you from 100K to 200K, right?
Mhm.
How long is it going to take you? Is that going to be one product that you know is going to go crazy? Is it going to be 5 products that have this much revenue? Is it what's the margin? What's it? Are you going to increase more your current products? You're going to add variation. You set your strategy and your vision, and then if you figure out exactly what's needed for those steps, maybe you can do all of them, and then you take away work that's time consuming for you. Or if you know all the steps, you have someone that you're going to hire to do those steps so you trust can do it. So in the end of the day, you're guiding the ship. And if you know what all the steps are that need to be done, then you hire for those steps, right? Not just have people to have people, right? You put the plan first and then put the people.
Like that. Plan first and people. Okay. So taking it from there and kind of wrapping it up here. What are your like, I'm curious, personally curious, what are your individual goals? Like for the foreseeable future now, such a big seller doing really big numbers. Like what's next on the roadmap for you? Like what do you aspire to do? What do you aspire to accomplish for yourself and for your company?
Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, I I think that there's a huge lack of people doing things. I don't know, maybe not huge lack. There's a lot of them, but a lot of people give up and get distracted. And we need leaders who are going to show, hey, we can do big things and we're going to take our money and put it for a good cause. My wife and I, we donate more than 10% of our income every single year. And I want to get to a point where I'm going to donate $10 million a year, right? Because I'm making $100 million in my pocket and I could send out 10 million. Like that's a huge deal. When you go to some places, I did an event in Czech and went on stage with like 6,000 people and we donated for a children's orphanage. And it was like, I matched the entire stage. All the people on the entire place that said, whatever you guys do, I'll match it. Ended up donating 140 grand. Um,
Nice.
and the guys were crazy, like the entire stage. Because in Czech, they don't make as much money, and I guess whatever, they're not used to this kind of stuff. But still, we raised 300 grand, more than 300 grand for kids who are abused. And I think, imagine if that could just be, I do that every day, for example.
Right.
That would be
Yeah, that's
crazy.
impact. Yeah.
So our goal is every year grow at least 22%. In 11 years, we'll be at over $1 billion if we do that.
Mm.
Okay. 22%. That's it. Every year, do not stop the growth. Continue to grow. Every year, 22% up, we'll be at $1 billion. At $1 billion, call it, even if we're at 10%, right? Profit margin, that's $100 million. Boom. That's a massive impact. You could just pick anywhere, be like, boom, you want to rescue an entire city of sex trafficked kids? Boom. Like here you go. Here's $2 million, Operation Underground Road, or whatever. Like, have this ability to do big things. Why? Because, man, people who are doing stuff that are putting us all down, those guys do big. And if
Yeah.
people just sit around and do nothing, then anyway, so like again, that's me. That's me personally. I don't work for the
Mhm.
cars or for this. Yeah, we have a nice house. We have a beautiful house. We'll buy another house. We got a whatever car, whatever. I buy whatever the hell I want. I got I got a during the day nanny. I got the weekend nanny. We have everything. I got 3 kids. We have no financial issues for myself. But when I see have the financial issue of I want to make a bigger impact. And that's one of the reasons. Of course, I will also be top 10 on Amazon, right? I want to get up there. Dude, I don't know. I want to do cool stuff. I want to make a lot of people money. I want to make a lot of people rich. I want to make a lot of people know what they're doing and be comfortable, not comfortable, but be productive, confident, and proud of the work that they're doing. And how do you do that? You know exactly what the plan is and you know how to execute it, right? So it's a lot of training. I want to become obviously more in social media. That's why I'm doing this podcast, right? I want to get known because I can show people an example of like, dude, I used to spend 15, 16 hours a day on video games. That was my life. Right. So like I couldn't do anything. I was afraid to have any baby. Like I didn't want a baby ever. I had like, dude, I was lost, confused. I was everything. And so like, I want to show people, look, wherever you are now, you pick something you can do well and you get better at it little bit, you can do big things. So
Yeah.
those are some of my goals.
No, I love it. I love that the goals you have, the driving business forward, and then using that the resources from that to make like real serious impact. That I absolutely love. So with that, thank you so much for coming on the show. If anyone's interested in getting in contact with you, learning more about you, how would they reach out?
So I would say my website, I got like a free intro course on how to get started on Amazon, aaroncordovez.com/start. And then of course on LinkedIn, I post a lot on LinkedIn, and then Valuation, I give you that link, or Samurai Seller. You want to check out our software. We've been building it for a lot of years. It's fantastic. We just released our automation software, which is spectacular. All your ads automated, right? So you don't have to hire a person to mess up your ads. You just can log in, click the stuff, the software will do it for you. So there you go.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely link all that down below. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate the connection, and we'll be in touch.
Think, Reggie. See
Cool.
ya.
Take care.